Hey guys, happy Saturday. So I am putting together a bunch of cabinet dollies and like filing cabinets for offices, So I should probably use a knife for this. They hold like 1,000 pounds or something like that, which is pretty nice. More than enough for my situation. So I have like these nice plastic shelves that I got for free where I put all the inventory and supplies and stuff for my business. The one downside is that they don't have wheels, and I've explained this before about how it's nice to have everything on wheels because then your workspace is adaptable and it's easy to change and it's easier for things to work. Like even this morning, actually when I brought these in, I carted this whole table to the front door and then and these boxes are kind of heavy. They're like 30 pounds. I just put them all onto the table and then I rolled the whole table into here, right? Because I wasn't carrying all this heavy weight like one-on-one like that, because that's just a waste. And also I have a bad back, so that helps. But that's like a perfect example of how stuff on wheels is really nice to have. So when you have an office space and you have a warehouse, put everything on wheels. It's really nice. But yeah, so these are great. I already assembled 5 of them. And also Amazon came with a clutch. So they accidentally sent me an extra dolly. And I needed like 1 or 2 more actually, so it's pretty awesome. And you might be wondering like, oh, are you gonna send it back? No, because actually Amazon, in this specific case, this is such a heavy package, they wouldn't even accept it because it actually costs them more to ship stuff like that back for their bottom line and stuff. Their business is just structured that way, so it's very costly for them to take items like that. They in the past, this sounds bad. This is terrible, but it's just the way it is. They would just throw stuff away. A lot of the returns, it costs too much for their business structure to process them and do all that, so they would just throw stuff away. I think now they don't do that. They have a Amazon warehouse where they sell items that are returned and like slightly used. And actually people have created businesses around that where they buy like brand new items and they resell them on their store because they get them at such a deep discount on Amazon, like for pennies on the dollar. So, that's actually like a good idea. When I was younger, way before I started this business, years ago, well, I mean, I still do from time to time, I sold stuff on Craigslist, and that's how I made all throughout high school. Why is this not going on? I hope this isn't like the thread isn't broken. All throughout high school, I paid for I'm gonna try a different bowl. I paid for my gas using money that I made from Craigslist, which is really cool. So I basically got free gas that way. Because my mom, she's a janitor and she would clean people's houses. And all these people, they're a little bit more wealthy and whatnot. They would always just get rid of stuff. Like, oh, here's an old microwave, do you want it, blah, blah, and then my mom took it, and then she was like, hey, you want this? I'm like, sure. So I always sold stuff like that online, and it made extra money that way. And I don't do it now because even though, I probably could, because in my situation, it's better for me to be focused on growing the brand and finding new customers and taking care of existing customers, because that's more valuable to me than just making a little bit of money on the side through Craigslist. So that's just what it is. But if I ever needed to resort back to that, I could, because I was pretty good at it. And also I recommend doing that. There's Craigslist and a bunch of other websites where you guys can earn extra money doing that. There's always free stuff like on the internet, and Gary Vee actually talks about this too. He would say how you could like go into the free section and pick up free stuff and resell it. Even the other day, this actually brings me back, or this actually totally ties into what I was saying, or what I was going to say today. So I got rid of a bunch of stuff. Man, this bolt, like something's wrong with this bolt. It just, I think the threads are broken on it or something. That's not good. So the other day I cleaned out my office, and actually I also cleaned out the attic in my parents' house and my apartment. I got rid of so much stuff, just stuff that's been piling up and that I don't use. It's taking up space, and space is valuable, right? Like, so I was taking up my whole parents' attic, you know, and I was like, it was bugging me a lot, and I was like, you know what, I gotta get rid of this stuff because it's gonna bug me in the future. It's gonna come back, and I'm gonna have to take care of it. So why don't I just do it now? And doing stuff now is also a big thing I'm gonna talk about today. But yeah, so back to the whole space. So when you are renting, or even if you own a house, essentially, really what you're paying for is the space, right? So space is very valuable, and you don't want to waste that space on stuff that's not adding value to your daily operations and your life. Specifically, in my office, I'm redoing the utility room and the photo room. I'm just doing everything different in there, and I'll show you guys later what that looks like. It's gonna be totally legit. It's gonna be like way better, but I just like found a lot of stuff that I brought here in the past, and I just never use it for any business operations or the day-to-day. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just get rid of it. And I had a friend, and I was like, hey, you want one of my good friends, like, you want anything, like, want this bookshelf? He's like, sure, I'll take it. He was supposed to come and grab it. Like, yeah, this bolt, the thread on it is keep coming back to it. I think I'm gonna like jam it onto here. I'll figure it out, but let's try to do it right now. Actually, he was like, oh, I gotta do this and this and this, and I was like no. Like he was like, oh, I'll come tomorrow, and then he's like, oh, I can't make it, I'm going to Eastern Washington. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna like give it to you right now. And why I said that, and like what I'm trying to say today, is a really important thing that you gotta understand when you have a business, and not a lot of people talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it, right? You have to develop a sense of urgency, and urgency will really, really, really help you in your business. My boss is really big on this, and he made a video about this, and I remembered it, and it didn't, it was in the back of my mind to be urgent and don't procrastinate. But what really hit a home run with me was I watched this guy on YouTube. His name's Sam Levins. He's super intelligent, super smart. Like, I get a lot of my information from him. I get a lot of my thinking from him. He like totally changed. He's like, my boss and him are like two people like that I really look up to the most in terms of just thinking and like business information and stuff like that. So he has a quote that I found on the internet, and in this quote, I don't know it word for word, but he was basically talking about how you're not promised tomorrow, and putting stuff off that you have to get done is stupid. Like, there's no point in doing it. Like, don't put off stuff that you gotta get done, especially for your business. And you really have to develop that sense of urgency, and the sooner you develop it, the more successful you'll be. And that's also literally just for life in general. People just always put stuff off. Like, I used to be, I obviously every day I still am battling it, but like, I used to be such a chronic procrastinator all throughout high school. I was just always putting stuff off at the last minute, and I did that in college. I had no urgency to get stuff done and just out of the way. Of course, I would get it done, you know, and I would be on time and everything, but it was literally last minute. I was always last minute everything. Even like I'm still battling that. Like with my business, I'm always like scrambling to do stuff, and especially on drop days, you know, it sucks. But that is something I will work on. As my moment of transparency for the day. It's a vice, but when I read that quote the other day, I gotta find it and honestly read it to you guys because it's so good. It's just, when I read that quote, it really hit a home run with me, and I was just totally changed my mind. And now past couple days, I've just been like a little bit more like in step with that and really making sure I do stuff. Like even I had my lunchbox in my car, and I was it was in the back and I didn't want to get it, and I was like going home. I was like, you know what? Why am I putting off that not even 30 second, literally like 3-second task of getting that lunchbox and, you know, getting all the stuff out of it and putting it away? Why am I putting that off? Why would I leave that in my car? You know, and that's like my really bad thought process, you know, like I would always do stuff like that. And then now that I'm a little bit more aware of not training my brain to be a procrastinator, I take care of tasks. Like even the other day when I delivered that stuff to my friend's house, stuff from the office, you know, I have to put my seats down in the car, and it takes like 20 seconds to arrange everything so like stuff can fit. And when I was driving back to the office, I looked at it, I was like, no, I have to arrange the car back exactly how it was before. Put all the seats out, put all the boxes back like that I have in there. And I was like, there's no point in me putting that off. Because actually it's funny because in the past, it's just a silly example, but I would literally do that. Like I would have seats down in my car to transport stuff, and then it would be like that. Sorry, probably can't see me in the camera. It would be like that all week. Like my car would be a little bit disheveled like that. And it's just stupid, like to go about life like that, like just not taking care of stuff right away, like especially when you can do it. Another example of this is in my daily life that I really hate. I mean, I'm a little bit better at it now, and I'm obviously working it every day, but like, you know, when you, instead of putting dishes away into the dishwasher immediately after you eat and stuff, you know, I had this bad habit growing up. I would put them into the sink, right? And that is stupid because what you're doing essentially is you're transporting the plate and the spoons and all that. You're transporting it twice instead of once. And that's also a lean thing, like excess transportation is one of the 8 wastes in your life, and that's very true in business as well. Actually, I'm going off a lot of tangents here, but just this is my brain free flowing. A perfect example of me trying to avoid excess transportation is, and why it's nice to have everything on wheels, is that when I had 6 boxes of the dollies that I had to put in the office this morning, I took this table and it's on wheels, and I got it all the way to the end of the door. My car is parked as close as possible to the door. So like when I was getting the packages, I put them all on the table. So all the packages were on here, and I just wheeled it in rather than carrying one heavy box at a time back and forth, and my back is bad and all that. So it's little things like that that I'm super aware of. And that's why I'm spending a little bit of time, a little bit of investment to make sure everything's mobile in the office. Like all of the shelves that I got are gonna be mobile, and it's gonna be super cool. And I've explained that in the video before, like I wanted to do that for a while, and now I can do it because Amazon's pretty cool. So I have a business credit card, and you get cash back, and a lot of credit cards get cash back, right? But on Amazon, see, like, look at this. I'm moving this table around, and like I can walk around it, and it's like really mobile. It's awesome. The money on your credit card, the cash back, is worth more per dollar on Amazon. So when I need to buy supplies and reinvest stuff back into the company to make every operation in the business in the office smooth and faster and more efficient, rather than like taking cash back and whatnot, I was thinking like, why don't I just spend it on Amazon, because I'm gonna buy this stuff anyways. Even if I didn't buy this, I would buy other things that I use in the office. For instance, on Uline right now, there's a huge supply chain issue, and they ran out of poly mailers that I use, and they're the nice ones with the easy open strip on it. They just make the shipping experience that much better, and they're thick. They ran out of those, so I had to buy some on Amazon. They are cheaper, and I'll test them out, but I don't like them because they're harder to open and they are thinner. But honestly, who knows, I might have to switch to those, because it's just like another cost saving thing. When you have a business, you have to really pay attention to all those little costs, and I made a video about that in the previous video about using your own mailers and stuff like that. Like it really adds up. If you're shipping out thousands of packages, like buying mailers, it adds up. So that's a thing. And rather than raising prices all the time for the consumer and for you guys, I mean, you do raise prices like a little bit here and there, but it's better to cut back on certain costs in the business structure that you can. It's better to cut back so you make more profit margin without increasing the price towards the consumer, and so it's basically a win-win for each person. And there's a lot of little things that you can figure out how you can cut costs in your business. Like for instance, as you grow, the cool thing is your profit margin will increase, because it is cheaper to order more shirts and whatnot and prints with a larger quantity. So it's like a flywheel. As you grow, you make more profit, and you can make more shirts, and you get more customers, and then those customers tell other customers, and like it keeps exponentially growing like that. So that's a really cool thing, and I'm getting close to that point where like things are rolling much more, especially during the coronavirus. There is just a lot of people on the web internet right now, and e-commerce is doing pretty okay. Although there are supply chain, like I said, there are supply chain issues, like with Uline right now. Even this t-shirt, like the ones this is like a sample I got. The ones I printed the state issued uniform on, they don't have certain sizes of them right now, which sucks. And so you guys can't buy certain sizes. And when I do check this out. I got this done. So that one's done. I got a couple more left. I am out of frame right now, but I'll come back. I'm planning on doing the drop here soon. Maybe next Friday, but don't take, I gotta use the knife. Don't take my word on that. It sucks sometimes, like, especially right now with the supply chain and all that, I kind of don't know exactly when stuff gets in here. I never have really accurate times at the print shop. They do deliver and they do a good job and everything, but they're always like, oh, it'll be done this day, but then it's not done that day. And then it kind of sucks because I can never give you guys a clear answer when stuff will be done. And then I also can't say like, oh, for sure we're having to drop like 3 weeks from when I send out artwork for the print shop. Because even then, like, I don't know if they're gonna be done for that. And that is also kind of a piece of advice. It's not really the best idea to plan drops out before you have the physical item. Oh man, this sucks. Look at that. These are bent. Check this out. Someone dropped the package and they totally bent these, but I have pliers, I think I can fix that. Yeah, but that is one lesson I learned. It's not super wise to plan out a drop too much before you get the physical items. Try to always have physical items and then you can launch, right? And you could take photographs of them and you could do a lookbook and all that stuff. Because in the past I've had issues where I would do a drop and then the items would come in like a day or 2 or 3 to 4 days later. So the shipping times would increase and it's just not good to do. It's a bad habit. And that brings me to another thing. I'm gonna make a video soon kind of explaining a lot of mistakes I've made and a lot of lessons I've learned from doing this for 3 years, because it'll be super valuable information for you guys. Not to repeat those things. And I will make a whole list of them. Oh, sweet, yeah. See, I bought these pliers here from, it's cool. But my office is literally a 1-minute walk from the hardware store. And it's a 1-minute walk from the bank where I pay the rent for this place. And it's really close to a coffee shop. Like it's such a cool spot. And I got these at the hardware store, and I've used them so many times in the office actually for a lot of stuff. So it's like surprising. It's nice to have a toolkit. So if you have a warehouse or office space, it's really nice to have like a couple drills, like a hammer, like some basic tools, because you never know when you'll need them, and they're really nice to have. But yeah, that is that. So let's see, I talked about urgency. Oh yeah, and I don't know, today's pretty awesome. I love Saturdays because I just do a lot of improvements, and also I structure Saturdays as the easy work. So I want to work on Saturdays because I enjoy working on the business, but I would rather do the more fun work, in my opinion, on those days. And I suggest you guys do that as well, because it kind of alleviates putting too much stress on you on a Saturday. Like take it easy and do like more of the fun work that's less brain draining, right? So on Saturdays I do this kind of stuff, like process improvement. Let's see if this is long enough. I do the process improvement stuff, so I make stuff like this, and then I also I clean up the parking lot. No one takes care of that, but I take care of it because I want to, every time I drive here, I want it to look nice, and there used to be a ton of weeds there, so I clean that up. I could take any garbage I see, and that's just like a good thing to do, just for the community. I take all the garbage out, I clean the whole place, I mop the floors, I do all of that stuff. I save that for the Saturday and not during the week, because during the week I do the mission critical stuff, like doing artwork, designing stuff, sending out files, packaging. Also on Saturday I do ship out orders too. So there's some orders that I gotta take care of before I leave here today, because I'm gonna go to I live in Washington and I live close to Bellingham, so I'm gonna go to Bellingham because they have the post office open, and I'm gonna ship out some orders that you guys placed. So they will come to you soon. What other company ships out on Saturday? No one. I will always, to the best of my ability, ship out on Saturdays if I can, if I'm able to. Because it's really nice. It'll just get to you that much faster, because if I don't, then you have to wait Saturday, then Sunday, and then Monday would be the day that something ships, right? So if you order before noon or something on a Saturday, it will be shipped out that day. If not, you're gonna have to wait until Monday, and that's just the way things roll. Oh, you know what? I think this needs to go. I like these dollies, and I already I'm using them, but they are slightly difficult to put together. You have to kind of pay attention to the panels. It's also cool because you know, when I have a warehouse and I say when, not if, try to say when instead of if whenever you're trying to work on your goals, because you're more likely to man, what the heck is wrong with this? You're more likely to actually accomplish them. Oh. See, man, these are like honestly kind of a headache sometimes to figure this out. There we go. That's the thing. Try to say, instead of if, try to say when. Like make it a goal and think about that goal, you know, like make it a priority. So when I have a warehouse, God willing, because things are still up to God, not up to me, but I will probably have different types of shelving systems, like probably more like warehouse racking. So these will actually probably still be used by then, because these are multi-use and they're adjustable. So I could use these for a lot of different purposes, even just like for moving bulky items. These are cool because they, like I said, they hold like 1,000 pounds. So it's kind of nice to have. What else was I going to talk about with you guys? I think I will finish putting this together and then I'll stop the video, but talking about Saturday operations. Oh, so let's see if this is long enough too. One other thing that I wanted to talk about was a funny story. So, well, maybe it's funny, I don't know. It kind of sucks. So, and it's a piece of advice. When you are shipping stuff out, let's say that you're shipping stuff out daily and you have the mail bins, you know, like the postal bins that they give you to put stuff in. Never, ever put personal artifacts in there. You know, personal items, whatever. Because I had a bad situation where, you know how guys, and if you're a girl watching this, listen carefully. So guys, we don't like to take multiple trips to the car. We're men, we're not babies. We do everything in one trip. I was thinking that too, you know. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just, you know, I had to return some stuff to the store, like some black iron pipes, just like little pieces in there. So I put that into the mail bin with the mail, and I put my coffee in there because I was like, I'm gonna take this bin into my car and then I can take the coffee out, like one of these, and it was about this full, and I put it in there. Well, I was in a rush that morning because I need to get to my day job, and what happened was I totally forgot that I put coffee and a couple pieces of metal that I need to return to the store. So there is a prepaid mail bin in the post office, and a lot of post offices have that. You just dump it in there so you don't have to wait in line or anything, waste time, because darn it, because it's already prepaid, right? And it's like a metal bin with cloth around it. So I dumped the mail in there with coffee and with the black iron pipe, and when I dump packages, I dumped it upside down so stuff can fall out. So for sure, I mean, unless it fell a certain way, like I spilled coffee in there and probably made a mess for the freaking post office. I feel so bad, like, because they are very busy and it's COVID right now, and they're already like dealing with a ton of crap. So probably like some poor worker had to freaking clean that crap up, and I feel bad. I really hope I can make it up to them one day, like send them a card or something. But I mean, they probably don't know who did, well, maybe they know who did it, because all of my packages are identical and they always see me there every day, so maybe they do, but I don't know. That was just like a funny but bad story, and here's the lesson from it. There is a lesson from it. Just don't mix your personal stuff with the mail. In the mail bin, get closer to you guys, only put mail in it there. And it's funny because after that happened, like the next day, I was about to do the same thing. I was closing the office door and I had the mail bin and I have my coffee and other stuff. And I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I'll just put it in here real quick and then I'll put it in my car. And then I was like, no, that is a bad habit. Let's not do that again. And you know, it's just a silly story, but honestly, I'm pretty sure that's probably happened to someone else before in the past where they accidentally threw stuff away that didn't belong in the mail bin because it was the personal stuff and they just put it in the bin because they used it as a transporting vessel. So yeah, that was just not smart. So don't do that, guys. I learned my lesson. And you know, it could have been my wallet, it could have been my keys, because I've done weird stuff like that too, where whenever I enter the office, I don't really like to carry around my wallet, lug it around. I just place it on the table over here and my keys, because it's just annoying. I just don't like it and it weighs you down. So I do that. And that's like that's like an easy, that would be a perfect way for me to lose my wallet if I just put it in the bin or something weird like that, if I wasn't thinking. But yeah, another lesson from that, I know I'm making a lot of lessons from a weird story, but whenever you have an issue or something in your business, don't be don't just brush it off and just think about it. Analyze it and be like, okay, why did that mistake happen? Well, that mistake happened, for instance, let's analyze it. It happened because I put personal stuff in the mail bin, and I shouldn't do that. So now, no matter what, that is unmovable. That in my business, when I have employees and with myself personally, that's going to be a hard rule. And that hard rule is never, ever, ever put personal stuff in the mail bin, even if you're transporting it 5 feet. So when you make a mistake, you have to go back and think about how you can avoid it in the future. And how to avoid that in the future is literally just to be patient. Just go back and make another trip. So that's my thing. But yeah, when you're, so for example, another example of a problem solving thing, and this is a good piece of advice for you guys. I had a lot of people messaging me, and it was kind of annoying, but I had to be patient. So a lot of international customers, you guys have to wait longer to get your stuff because of COVID, and that's not my fault. That's not the post office's fault. It's just the way the world is right now, because they have more cleaning procedures. E-commerce was booming during the COVID times, right? And so all international shipping got slowed down, and I don't know if it's any faster right now. I think it might be slightly faster because they're getting the hang of it, but that's just what happened. So a lot of people are messaging me asking about their order. So in my brain, instead of being like, oh, I'm just gonna keep answering that question, it's annoying, just keep answering it. In my brain, that cued to me, okay, it's time to solve that problem. Why do people keep asking me? They keep asking me because I think I have to redo that. Yeah. They keep asking me because they simply don't know where their package is. So let's make an info page about it. So I made an entire info page on my website about COVID-19. Actually, it's probably already fine that way. Yeah, I made an entire info page about COVID-19. And also on the shipping page, I referenced it and sent links to it, so I redid that. So I'm sure it's probably helped some people out, because I have been getting less questions about it, about where's my order, because now the customer can simply go on the website and find the answer to their question rather than emailing me, right? Because as you grow, you really need to pay attention to the systems that you're having, that you manage. Because without good systems, your business will crumble. A good example of this is you might think, oh, it's good for business to grow, it's good for big expansion. Well, not always. And you're like, what? That's crazy. How is it bad? How is it bad for business to grow? It's bad for your business to grow if your systems cannot keep up with the growth. So let's say you have 10 customers and you treat those 10 customers really well, you always take care of them. Let's say that you grow to 100 customers. There's no way that the systems you have in place before that adequately treat 10 customers will be able to treat 100 customers just as well, because there's just way more inflow of people, way more business. So you have to adapt your systems to fit the need of the 100 customers and treat the 100 customers the same way you treat the original 10. So developing good systems in the beginning is super important. That's why I'm doing all of this back-end work, all this work that is not necessarily like extremely important right now, but I know long-term it will be. And you know, time-saving systems and being efficient, being organized. Like if you start out organized and efficient, you will grow much better into a bigger business, and the bigger business will be able to handle the expansion. And you know, if that sounds boring to you, if you're like, it's fine, nothing's gonna happen, well, all I can say is suffer and die. Like you'll figure that out later, you know? When you have a big business and you started out small, but you grew unorganized and with bad system in place, you're gonna have one hell of an experience getting it organized and getting it running well. Because I mean, you can still be successful and stuff will still work out, but it's just going to be much harder for you to fix the mess when it's bigger, rather than prioritize it when it's smaller and fix it or like immediately, you know. And by immediately I mean have urgency. So really have the urgency to make your systems good, start your business, don't procrastinate on it, you know. Like kind of this video is about urgency, and like one example is if you're younger and you watch these videos and you really want to start a business, but you have no money and COVID and all this stuff, it doesn't matter, because there's a lot of back-end work and a lot of stuff that you can do that has nothing to do with money. You can gather all your social medias and make a name, you can make a logo, you can make a theme, you can draw out a map of what you want to do, you can make mock-ups, you can contact print shops and talk to them and ask them about prices. You can do like literally 90% of the work for free. The other 10% is like getting your LLC, getting your license for that, like getting money to get the shirts and whatnot, getting the Shopify running, but everything else is free. You can do 90% of the business for free. So that is why I say you need to have urgency and do it right now. There's no need for you to put it off if that's what you want to do and you're serious about it. So I hope that you guys take that advice. I have one more of these to make, and then another thing to install, and then a mirror to install. I have so much stuff to do. So, and then packaging. So I hope you guys have a great day, and hope you like this video. Let me know what you think about these fun like advice videos on Saturdays. I'll make more of them. So anyways, hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks guys.